Hello everyone, this is Highlander from MTG Cardsmith doing another custom Magic the Gathering card review, and today I have my special guest with me, jpastor.
A very special guest.
It's a very special guest. Also, tell me, jpastor, where did you go to pastor school?
Oh, jeez. Every time. All
right, so
the city of Ravnica.
In the city of Ravnica, good answer. I like that. That would be the Orzhov Church, I imagine, right?
Could have been Demir.
I don't think Demir's down with churches, you know. Anyway,
you might have one down below.
So here we got a card by Derfaulehelmut, which is German for the bad Helmut. So anyway, he put a little preface here on this card. So let's take a look at it. He says, a couple of years ago, during a contest based on video game characters, I created the evil Jon Irenicus from Baldur's Gate 2. Since now Magic the Gathering has finally created this character for real, I'd like to know what you think of my creation. You could even compare both in a video. My card is probably not much a thing, since it didn't hit prize, but I think is a nice coincidence that they decided to recreate the character. Alright, so basically, this is a card made by Wizards, which is the same character. Now, are you familiar with Baldur's Gate at all?
No.
Okay, me neither. So, that's fine. Okay, so let's just read this one real quick, and then we'll look at his. This is a 4-mana 3/3 Dimir. At the beginning of your end step, target opponent gains control of up to one target creature you control. Put 2+1/+1 counters on it, and tap it. Okay, so it's goaded for the rest of the game, and it gains this creature can't be sacrificed. Whenever a creature you own but don't control attacks, you draw cards. This is a really wacky commander card, basically. Okay, let's see what he's got here. So this is a Golgari card, a 5-mana 2/4, Elf Wizard, Legendary, of course, at Mythic Rare. It has Death Touch, but it's a very serious Death Touch because there's a period at the end, you know?
Exactly.
So it's like Death Touch. When Jon Irenicus The Exile enters the battlefield, you may pay X life. If you do, search your library for a sorcery or instant spell with converted mana cost X or less and put it into your hand. Until the end of turn, you may play this spell without casting its mana cost. Let's read the flavor text. Why do you stand for this? Why do you submit to the flesh when death is bred in your bones? How did you like my voice?
Well, looking at the guy in the artwork, I thought that was pretty spot on.
Thank you. I pride myself on my I don't know, voice acting skills. Okay, so what's your first impression of this card?
For some reason, I got held up on the extra space after PX.
No, I know.
And live, and then whenever mana cost X or less space, but. It's wordy, but it seems easy to follow. We just have to reread it maybe once or twice to figure out what this thing's doing, and then we can go from there. So let me read this out loud to myself real quick. So,
go for it.
Death Touch.
Nice. I like
Jon
it.
Irenicus The Exile. Why is he called The Exile? That's my first honest question here. When he enters the battlefield, you may pay X life. If you do, search your library for a sorcery, an instant or sorcery, I believe is the correct wordage there, but it's fine.
It's not fine.
With converted mana cost X or less. So okay, we're okay with that. And put it into your hand. Reveal it. We have to reveal it as well.
Mm-hmm.
Before we put it in our hand. These are just technicalities here. I'm just spotting these on as I'm reading.
Absolutely.
So end of turn, you can play this spell without paying its mana cost. This is very black, and it can be blue as well, and I don't really, besides the elf part and Death Touch, see where green's coming in strategy-wise, and even color identity-wise for what we're doing here. This is definitely black, though, so maybe we can start with that color identity.
I agree with that. Yep. This is. I'm guessing the only reason this is green is because he's an elf. That's my guess. But there's black elves. You know, he's an elf wizard. This should probably be a blue-black card in my opinion. Do you agree with that sentiment?
Instant or sorcery spell definitely indicates blue. If it was a generic card and we're paying the life, I would say it's black. And then if it was searching for a creature as well, then that would kind of put the green part in, even though that's typically not how we do it. But yeah, I mean, it's okay. I'd say blue. Black right here makes a lot of sense. Yeah, you're right.
Okay. So it is a 2/4 with Death Touch. So basically, to me, this card seems very strong, especially in Commander. Now, I don't know if this is designed to be a Commander card, but it's legendary. So I'm guessing it's probably meant for Commander. And in Commander, you have a lot of life. So you could basically play this guy, pay X, and go search up a really powerful spell. 7, 8, 9, 10 mana. Like, you obviously can't cast X spells with it. But I'm sure there's some really nutso things you can do with this card. And paying 10 life is like not really that big of a deal in Commander. I mean, that's a quarter of your life total. So in 1v1, that would be like paying 5 life, basically. Which is like barely anything. So, and you get to cast it for free. So like just out of your libraries. I mean, this card's, in my opinion, very, very strong. I think
Can we go back?
Yeah.
Can we go back to the other card? The one that is...
Oh, sure.
His inspiration there. I just want to read this one more time and kind of see if there's any like similarities in structure here with what we're going for. So this one's end step, and instead of when it enters the battlefield. So this is every turn, this ability on this guy. And we're putting 2 counters on something, taking control of it. So there's not really any similarities here. So we're just kind of going with the name. From what I see here, right?
Well, in this case,
is a 4-drop 3/3. It doesn't have Death Touch or anything. It's blue-black, so maybe we changed it up just to kind of vary the theme of the card here.
Yeah, I mean this. Remember, this one came out after his, so he made the card first. But I mean, clearly this guy is some kind of like a mad scientist or something. At least that's what it looks like in this picture. This guy, I guess, looks a little bit less like a mad scientist, but you know, he still looks pretty mad. So, so I would think this card is a little bit too strong, especially in Commander, because you can also replay this guy. I mean, he's got Death Touch, so he's going to trade with most creatures. So you can like play this guy on 5, cast something insane, trade with something, then replay him again on 7, cast something else insane. You know, this guy does a lot of work, I think. Eventually that life cost will catch up, but the first like 1 or 2 times you cast this guy, the life is pretty much nothing, in my opinion. Not to mention there are instances of sorceries that gain you life anyway, and you can put life gain cards in your deck. So yeah, I find this card, the combination of tutoring and casting it for life instead of mana, I think is a little bit too much, in my opinion. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, no, I agree 100%.
Okay, so let's talk about the formatting issues also real quick. Derfaulehelmut, I've said this in many of my videos, but it's really important that you format your cards correctly. And the reason is that it's very distracting if you don't. And jpastor actually perfectly exemplified this, because he literally lost track of me reading this because he saw an extra space here and he stopped paying attention. Okay, so that just goes to show you how important formatting is. And you have several issues here. You've got a period after Death Touch, which doesn't need to be there. You've got extra spaces here for some reason. Sorcery or instant is always instants or sorcery. That's always the order that Wizards puts them in. Extra space here. And I think that's mostly it. So got to get that formatting down. That's kind of one of the things that separates. There's sort of like a separation in Cardsmiths where some of them have like perfect formatting, and those tend to be like the top tier ones, and then you have some that make formatting mistakes, and I think that's a pretty important hurdle to clear if you're trying to improve. What do you think about what I just said, jpastor?
Oh, I mean, sometimes you can focus on the formatting, but it's mostly just a distraction for me. It doesn't exactly play into the overall rating I grant a card. So to me, this is a good idea for a card. It's just more so the execution of it that doesn't rate very high in my book, and it's not necessarily has anything to do with the formatting here. It's just the balancing, mostly the color identity and the goal. We didn't pull it off, but it's a good idea to have something come in like this and search your library for it. We have the right intentions and the right idea with the creature concept being a 2/4 death touch. Flavor's good. It's just about the wording issues here and how we pulled it off. So that's all I got.
Yeah, I agree with that. I also just want to make a note that this card is a lot. It seems a lot more balanced in standard, where you can't replay this guy over and over again. I mean, you can obviously play multiple copies, but you don't have a command zone where you can keep replaying him from, and also the life cost there is a lot higher, right? Whereas in Commander it isn't. So I don't really know what to do with that exactly, but it's definitely worth noting. So yeah, what rating would you give this card?
It's give or take 5 out of 10.
5 out of 10. I would probably also give it a 5 out of 10. I think I would normally give a card like this a 6 out of 10 because I think there's the ideas there, like you said. But I do take formatting into account when I rate cards, and formatting definitely takes. I take points off for poor formatting. So I'm not as nice as you, but you're a religious man, so I understand. All right, so that's our review of Jon Irenicus The Exile. Thank you guys for watching.